I feel like Bind is very strategic, high-level map when it comes to understanding it. Fokus definitely had that. And then Icebox and Breeze in particular just get more and more chaotic. This is one of the most chaotic, most high-variance maps. It is the most high-variance map in Valorant. So this one really can go either way depending on the day. And I'm hoping that Fokus haven't really lost their steam, because the last half they got completely shut out.
Yeah, I mean, I think we look at Surreal as a team, and a point Ryan just brought up right before we hopped into this map was the fact that we got to see Alpha here on that chamber. And that was the most exciting thing, absolutely, about seeing them in the caster stream. So excited to see that pan out. But looking like that drone coming down in towards A, just getting some cave control. And now Yugi leading the charge up through the holes.
I mean, look at the mid pressure, too. We had 3 players there, then a quick TP back towards stairs. And do Lewis and Yugi actually want to go past this? Yeah, they're 4 players up in halls, so they have the decision now if they want to open door and burst out quickly on site. But from their positioning, it almost seems like they want to go past these double doors. It's not uncommon to see Jet sort of smoke dash out onto the top of triple these days, and that's going to be the idea here.
Well, flash ploy works out for Vong, and Alluri able to get one as well. But Rienz does very good work at keeping his team at the even odds. Masic now with a Sheriff at long range, trying to make it happen. We see that a common theme throughout each and every pistol for this guy who loves the Sheriff in his hands.
So
trying to spam down through the doorway. Damn close to that, yeah, absolutely.
They may not be ready for the quick double doors play, though. Yeah, Yugi is watching it, but only 22 HP.
Oh, they just traded out position. Just as each other peaked, they drop back, and so not really confirming position, but now Yugi under a lot of pressure. Alluri will actually back him up, but Yugi and Alluri both go down, leaving Butcher alone in this world. He's down to 15 HP. They know exactly where he is. He tags that one with that spy cam, but still has the pressure on his shoulders, knowing he's in the 1v2, that someone could be sticking it, but gets information that they're not. They're off it, and this is going to increase the likelihood of his chances of winning this round. The defuse now being stuck over half. Masic quick to the trigger, and the low HP means he's down after 1 bullet. The pistol recovered, and Surreal will have it.
Wow, Surreal able to keep the streak going there after a pretty chaotic round with so much pressure going up into halls. And it's really interesting to watch how teams sort of evolve of, you know, how they play during a map of Breeze, because so many things can change as you sort of understand your opponent tendencies and whatnot. Very unlikely we see that level of halls commitment, maybe even for the rest of the half, coming through from Fokus. But a big discussion point, I think, on the desk was sort of like the Sky versus the KO, and I definitely agree with Lothar. I think KO offers you so much more value, especially when the agent is like maximized to his fullest potential. At the same time, you do have to consider some of the value the Sky gives you, and I think she gives you a little bit more consistent information, of course, with her flashes. And on defense in particular, I think she can give you a little bit more information than a KO could with her dog, with her flashes, of course, and not be so hard bound to that 40-second timer. That's gonna be the big difference there between her and the KO, of course. Discounting the fact that KO can literally turn off an entire team's ability to use utility, which is incredibly powerful. But even just like that, you know, a KO wouldn't be able to give you that information for another 10 seconds before his knife came back off cooldown, assuming you're using that one right off the rip.
Yeah, and also persistent as well on the Sky, right? You've got multiple options for that information gathering. But I think we started to see that the KO really come through in effect with Soulcast or Liquid over at Champions. I think he started to really like his Breeze approaches, but that is a nasty shot from Yugi. Decides to just peek out, good crosshair placement, and that delivers the first kill for the weaker guns, and now they want to turn their attentions back to A. You have to still remember, though, majority still on Classics.
Oh yeah, there's a trademark right on the right of them too, so Alfiero is going to be very aware of this.
He's also spotted, has to rendezvous out of there, and he still hits the shot.
Oh no. Yugi continues to find value here with the Marshall. It is going to get real hairy real quick. They also have that great attacking Viper's Wall that allows you to play forward on the lighter buy too, cutting down the range. That should be off cooldown very shortly. JJ almost loses his life, but takes down the enemy Cypher.
Popping out from the halls now. Surreal trying to send their forces back in for this retake, but Vong has dispelled them and forced them back. Yugi does damage and now softening up the remaining players. They're both so low, and JJ arrives. He throws the flash in. We can't do much with it, and Rienz forced to clutch out against the pistols. One of them extremely low. Vong goes into that fight, and Vong will still win it. The Sheriff able to upgrade into the Bulldog, and 1-1 as the scoreline is evened up.
Uh-oh. That was not a force buy in the second round. That was just a Marshall in the hands of Yugi, and he came up so big for Focus after losing that pistol round. And it was like was such a clean shot too, just slowly inching up, fighting in through tunnel at the start of it. Focus made the quick call to burst on over towards A. Those mid-round decisions of vital importance on a map like Breeze. And now we're probably going to get the most standard way you can attack here for Focus, maybe with a little bit more mid-presence out of Yugi's Jet than you'd be accustomed to. Just sneaking up into shop with the Sova. And not actually committing. I thought we were going to see a little bit quicker attention over towards the A site. Instead, just holding down mid. They know on pistol round, there was a very early mid push from the defensive side, and nothing's changed on this third round Thrifty.
Yeah, Riens is pushed down holes, getting close to the shoot, doesn't want to accidentally step on that, fires way down. But for the time being, Focus really just waiting out any potential aggression, any potential stacks that Surreal might throw at them, because we did see a lot of those in the lower buy rounds, especially over on Bind in particular, if you remember that far back. There was actually a lot of grouped up plays in these kind of rounds, and Riens actually catches the right timing. Unfortunately, not catching much more than that. Vong shoots him in the head.
Rien's like, I just got third party, guys. What was I supposed to do? Maybe hit a shot.
Battle Royale.
Oh no, yeah, Surreal gonna be running out of this one. But I mean, it's interesting too, sort of looking in terms of like ultimate economy for Focus. This is an easy round for them, but going into the next, Alluri has ultimate online. Vong is just one away. Two big ults when it comes to trying to get some momentum going early on in this attacking half. And I don't think anyone on Surreal can actually say the same, if my memory serves me properly.
Basic left to scrap together what he can, and that is nothing. Vong with 3 picked up, and 2-1 now as Focus headed to the lead on Breeze. But now we focus in on Surreal and their purchase up, because they have got credits back in. That means the rifles can come out. Macy can get the operator into his hands. So this is a much better buy coming out. Focus, again, still a strong buy. Keeping the Bulldog. Let's see what Alluri has available.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, obviously I said Ultimate's looking really good for Focus, but notice JJ, 3,900 in the bank, so he has a rifle and full armor. I think that's actually a big mistake. I think you're supposed to go light armor here, and you're supposed to buy utility, especially on a map where like almost everyone is running Vandals these days. So like having the difference between a headshot on a Phantom one-shotting you or not with 150 armor to break that is just not that relevant. And I feel like the utility you get out of having 2 flashes that could be recharging out of the dog, like that is so big to have, especially on the defensive side. And you can see like JJ is completely changing how he plays too, like pushing up very aggressively. That's the one flash, and he knows someone's there, so he's like, I don't know if I want to keep going that far forward, even with an op to hold elbow for me.
Now Yugi's turn. The key, I like to call him. The key to opening up these rounds. He's been so good at doing it time and time again. That's a little bit of pressure towards the double-to-one. Nothing given to him. He's not going to force the issue too much just yet. Still 50 seconds in play, and his teammates are relatively spread out. I love this aggression from Masick, but hopefully he doesn't get caught by a bad timing here. Butcher is about to look through that window, and Masick begins to relieve his aggression and goes back into the side.
No one's fighting. They're slowly rotating over towards B. You can see that Yugi's so far up in mid with this operator, and there's no one to peek him down from Nest. He takes down Masick, and that's going to signal the hit. They're here with the 0 point, and the wall comes down. It's just JJ holding the front, but the fight's isolated.
Yeah, JJ gets 1. Alluri able to reply almost immediately, and there goes the Viper's pit up for Focus. Yugi finally gets his reward. He's been trying to force that fight the entire round. Eventually gets his opportunity, and now J-Lust and Riens is not too much of a shot here. They trying to see if they can pick off someone from the extremities of that Viper's pit, but look at that little rat corner from Butcher.
I love that we're showing that. Oh my god, there's so many just dumb angles on this map. I'm gonna say it. Like, what were we just looking at? J-Lurst looking, seeing just a tiny little sliver from backside when he's in Nest. Like, okay,
yeah. There's so many just ridiculous angles you can die from, right? It's just so frustrating if you ever do go down to those. And that's why it comes down to just reps on Breeze, I think. You know, just playing the map over and over again, dying to every scenario that's possible.
Yeah, and it's also like there's so much like individual level of like timings. Like, how did that round start off? Yugi walked up mid, got left in mid, was walking up and peeked through tunnel, timing Masic as he was rotating out of, you know, really aggressively holding in B main. Well, there could have been a player up in Nest that could have like peeked out and watched him, but he lucked out. Like, this is a round, no one peeked it for so long. He made the educated guess to continue going forwards. Like, so much of this map, especially on the attacking side, is making educated guesses like that of when do I push through elbow? When do I walk up mid? When do I walk up halls? Like, it's all about those lurk players, those solo players finding really good timings, and that's how you open up an explosive hit onto a site. Otherwise, like, site hits can get really uncomfortable really fast as you're running down into 3 players. That A side is so wide open. You're seeing it here, like just firing squads, and Fokus happened to be winning this time.
Yeah, the 2 save weapons, one of them is gone already. One's still up in the hands of Masic, and he's looking to get aggressive in towards Vong. Thinks better of it when the Vandal shots start ringing past his head. And this initial aggression in towards Cave has not really worked.
Yeah.
They found one pick.
And here's like the timing question again of like, how soon do you pull the trigger as Butcher? You know, your team knows there's a couple of players over towards A. Now he's made noise. I think he actually maybe he had some kind of information. Otherwise, I don't think you're just running and dropping the smoke there. But Alfier is able to find the kill. And now it so much comes down to this mid lane, whether or not Butcher is going to be able to shut off JJ.
Butcher dropping back. JJ had the chance that. Going to send the Seekers instead. Guiding light out to the right side, but it's the left he's going to peek on. And he just plays that to absolute perfection. The headshot is so nasty. And now 3v2 favoring Surreal. They're on towards the site here, Focus, but they have to focus up to pull this one out.
Oh, yeah. Alluri has the ultimate, and there was a rifle retrieved by JJ. So 2-on-2 in terms of the Vandals. Then Alfier is the late lurk in through tunnel. They have a flash to work with. That forced Alluri off the angle. What a shot from Yugi, though. Shut it all down.
Yeah, another operator still looming, though, here for Surreal. Alfier trying to just catch the angle, but they could double peek him, and Yugi goes too wide. Alfier couldn't see it, and now JJ coming up. He knows where Yugi is, at least, but Yugi's repositioned. And so JJ hunting him down. Yugi just looking for it, just bits out the shots, and the time's ticking, and Alluri will find the open fight. JJ hits the deck. But that was 2 save rifles, pistols around it. Comes down to a 2v1, but Focus still able to recover it.
But you can see, like, the map theory right there playing out is, like, solo players completely make or breaking around. Like, JJ getting that pick in mid gave his team a shot after they lost a lot of players out in Cave early on. All of a sudden was doable. A 3-on-2. Now Focus, now that they've seen, okay, we've seen like the heavy stack towards Cave. We've seen some like mid pressure a little bit later on. Now trying to get up. I feel like you're trying to get your jet up through elbow pretty quickly here. That was sort of my anticipation here. Well, you have the operator, so it's kind of awkward to push either of those 2 angles with the op. So much mid attention from Surreal, though.
Well, Hunter's Fury being used up here for Focus. They're just trying to clear out holes. They haven't really found a lot of info, but it has actually forced away those top mid players back into the arch, and that would set up the peek out from elbow, but Vong gets into the drone, shuts it down inside of the Toxic Cloud. We'll see how the attacking side are shaping themselves up, because they're no longer poised towards B. They're going back into middle.
Ooh, repositioning the orb to pretend that, hey, maybe I'm a little bit deeper. Maybe I've actually pushed up into that and I'm playing right next to the wall. Really interesting. Does seem like it's eventually going to be a split hit towards the A site, which isn't that well defended. A couple of trademarks on the site itself, and 2 players going up mid doors here, but Alfier can take the first fight and TP out unless he loses to the op.
Oh, he does actually manage one, but he ends up losing to the op. There's both scenarios in one. Spy collected. Advantage siding with Surreal. And Focus have pulled these kind of rounds off before.
Ooh, what a Viper wall. Look at that, throwing it from on-site back by Palm. Knowing there's an op in the hands of Masic, you have to be able to isolate that fight down. But this wall can only last for so long. I believe Jailers had almost, Vong had almost full fuel. But it comes on down.
Oh, Yugi tries to swing out, but he's lost his teammate, and Yugi not capitalizing on any of these opportunities. It's now just down to Butcher, and he won't even find one either. It's clean on the retake. Surreal lose 1 player in total, and that's their 2nd round picked up. Finally, back to winning ways.
Yeah, that one hurts. Don't actually think there was full fuel there because he'd left the orb up in Hall for so long to feign a lot of presence, so that one died out relatively quickly. Either way, it was going to be quite the round to pull off if you're going to win that one against all the ops. And now Surreal are rocking the double operator setup even. Picking up a 2nd one there. They've got this really interesting defensive Viper wall on the B site too, just giving a little sliver out that you could technically plant with, but no one's going to be happy about. But meaning you could play back towards half wall, back site, close left. So many different options, but quick mid aggression here.
Well, no command's been sent out here. And your boy Lewis looking to shut down some of this side of Surreal, but your boy Lewis just got cut out by Ryan, so he's out of that. And now this is looking pretty good for Surreal. Again, it could be the Res no problem going to get him back up to his feet. No one's really challenging that, so you're back up to 5 players, but all it does, it slows him down a little bit. Fokus have got the spike down. Yeah, they also held that Viper wall up for a long time, so Surreal are going to be able to get past that one no problem in time before it gets back up. There you have it. 4 players made it past. Yeah, this is quick. This is very quick on the retake, but this time they're finding kills on the post plant. Suddenly, Masic and Jailers, though, double up between them, and now it's just down to 2 players. Make it 1. Yugi with it all to do. Into the post plant, jumps to try and keep them off it, but now they know that Masic scoped in on it. It should be an easy kill, and they can just hold the defuse, trusting in the operator's angle. And 3 rounds, another retake for Surreal. We've seen some ridiculous. Ryan and I, 2 days ago, we casted an incredibly long overtime. I think we had like 6 OTs on this map in particular, and it was just crazy how many retakes you were seeing on that A side. Seems like that a lot of teams are very, very capable of winning the defensive side of retakes right now on this A side.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the name of the game for a long time. The changes did make it so that you can push a little bit deeper on site, but like... It's so weird because I think we've seen a couple of times today the more aggressive Viper walls that you throw from mid to actually all the way back towards triple, but we haven't seen people playing back triple. I feel like when you know there's operators in your opponent's hands, like playing just full post plant, maybe switch it up, maybe play a little bit deeper on site, use the site changes to actually enable you to play a little bit more forward positions in the post plant. Could have given them a better opportunity. Now they find themselves staring at a bunch of oobleck they got to get through, a lot of green goo. And the drone's not going to accomplish much. They see that there was a Viper inside of the ult, but no one's playing behind it, so that doesn't really give you any value at all.
Now we go under a minute left, and with the Viper's pit posted up towards A, there's a heavy commitment with 2 players staying in that, and they know that they have got Alpha here. Can cross mid, but Yugi is quick to the trigger.
Yeah, but there's still an op and elbow. Like, where Masic is crazy, but they're deciding not even to go into B. It's just going to be that A split once again. Not even a split, because no one's in main.
Oh, that's going to confirm position of a couple left. That's going to find big info with that 0 point. Oh, JJ! He had the perfect chance to get in behind them, but Yugi is so quick. He's able to react in time, stop that from happening, and obviously the whiff spray plays a part. But nonetheless, Surreal down to just 2 players, and it's all crumbling. Masic was over towards B mere moments ago, but on his fallback to this side of the map, all of his teammates are gone, and not a single kill is being found this round.
Yeah, this is the positioning I want to see, by the way, from an attacking team controlling A. I mean, check out where Alluri is, right behind triple. You got someone in halls, you got someone pyramid, you got a couple people mid doors too, ready to trade off one another. Obviously, against the Viper's pit, it creates for a little bit of a unique situation where nobody actually wants to play through cave unless maybe you late lurk someone in there, but that is exactly what I want to see more of. Out of, Fokus continuing to attack here if they can maintain mid control and get those really forward walls. Masic a little bit too good with that one. Should be able to carry this one over with a bonus shot on top.
Yeah, I think absolutely you hit the nail on the head in terms of that round was very much an adaptation for Fokus, right? I think they realized, right, that's 2 rounds now we get onto the site, but we can't hold it. What is the difference here? And it's the fact that they have no control of the sites. You just have 4 players in the previous round they lost, just right on the site, right on top of them in those pyramids.
Yeah.
This adaptation was really cool, right? It was through the halls coming around from a different avenue. That's a cool adaptation for Fokus, and we'll see if they can keep that up.
And it was only an option, too, because Masic was able to win the op duel in mid and take down the enemy chamber, right? Alpha Air lost that one, and then they made the call, let's actually go through mid doors, because you're not anticipating anyone else to be in that, especially with the Viper's Pit down in main. It has seemed like Fokus really like halls. Like, it's not just that they're the pistol round, they sent 4 players. Previous rounds, you know, they've been sending Vong a whole lot up halls. Now they've got 2 players. And because it's KON Jet, you're almost expecting them to go for a little bit more of an aggressive play, but they actually just leave the operator in halls. What a creative switch up from that one. Rienz has drone, and Rienz likes using drone around the 1 minute mark, about 50 seconds to 1 minute. You'll often see Sovas sort of clear out halls, especially in the situation that dropped, although maybe you don't use it because the trip has been popped, so there's more potential for them to rush and swing you.
Well, that spike starting to make his way back over to B. Just a sole player holding it. It's JJ, and he has spotted that information of Butcher. He's actually and a little tag just to slow that down.
Oh, man.
Show some resistance, but no one's coming to help.
Yeah, I mean, well, we still have Yugi waiting. Like, someone please rotate. This is getting ridiculous. Why is no one here yet? And he hasn't found the pick there either. JJ could be so huge for Surreal, though.
Oh, that is huge. JJ able to get away with one, but he had a chance there from multiple.
Oh, no.
And now, Vong, he's just... Oh, he had a perfect position, but somehow unable to come away with anything. Yugi luckily getting one, but even he is down to Outfire. And now we're into the 2v2. Suddenly there's a chance here for Surreal to win the round. Absolutely should not have been. And both remaining players are doubled up in the same spot. Now, if one commits and, like a lamb to the slaughter, sacrifices themselves, perhaps they won't check this position for 2. Flash is going to go, and they cross out together. Outfire on his 3rd kill of the round, but it becomes that mind game. Do you think the second player is here? They're starting to figure out where they are. Spots him out. 30 HP, a jumping shot from the Classic. This one lands for Butcher.
Oh, man, they're both just doing the jumping antics with the right click. Butcher's better for it, though, and Fokus secure the round. I mean, again, a super chaotic mid-round where it felt like, and I feel like this has happened a lot in this series in particular. There are players that are in positions to get 2, potentially 3 kills off of really good timed swings or in really nasty, ratty positions, and they have just not been able to convert past that first kill. It happened to JJ first playing backside on B, then it happened, I believe it was it Vong or someone was like pushed up in mid too and couldn't quite make it work. And it was with so much chaos in mid as well, with Yugi pushing up in halls. I think he actually took a lot of the attention away from Surreal as they were working into tunnel. And that's why we had that really weird situation where Vong was looking in the back of 2 players' heads. Because the info was passed, they actually saw the back of Yugi in halls for just a second when he was rotating on through and trying to make that flank work out. So very lucky for Fokus, I think, that they were able to secure that round in the end, even with all of the nonsense that went around with it. That's going to force Surreal onto a pretty rough bye here.
Yeah, it feels like Fokus is snatching control of the game. You can tell Surreal in those 2 rounds they were able to retake. You know, they found the answers, but Fokus are doing a great job of just always figuring out how to get a step ahead. You know, maybe Surreal catch up for a few rounds, but Fokus are always there, always thinking, always adapting. And they're really keeping up with the pace here on Breeze. So Rian's trying to get some early control towards Cave, has cleared out the close orb position, hasn't seen anybody.
Hold on, do Surreal have 3 people in halls? These guys are freaking out. They're like, Fokus, go halls every round. We got to do something about it. JJ's holding the tightest angle possible.
But I mean, at least you have the quickest rotation to either site from this spot as well, right? So, you know, with the weaker guns, maybe you can just get to the sites as quickly as possible and those rotates. And if they come halls, then wonderful. You've had the perfect stack.
I love that they also have the trademark there. Like, just because, why not? I don't think anyone's like pushing deep halls versus a thrifty buy on defense.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
I could be proven wrong. We've seen crazier things like in our first series today on Split.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. But I think this round seems much more by the book. And it seems like Fokus are going to have an easy time with things. Screen up. That's going to be easy taking the site. Null command sent in as well. just really confirming themselves, comfortability inside of the side. And, you know, yes, it's not really that deep control of the site, but they have better weapons, so they should still be able to pull this one through.
Yeah. This is almost one where you sort of want to invite your opponents to push in a little bit deeper. Lewis is able to take one down, and Vong also expects to push down in Hall's. Basic, though. Okay. The scopes are coming in clutch for Surreal here.
Luckily, Vong up in the halls is able to come through, and, you know, they definitely had it right. Halls was certainly going to be the problem in this round. They just didn't expect it at this point. Oh, Vong comes out, 2 easy headshots, and Masic left alone. I mean, saving a Vandal here isn't the worst situation to be in, considering could have lost absolutely everything, but 7 rounds nonetheless for Fokus. So really going to invest again into this next round. Masic might just go down. He will. On the way out, Yugi removes everything.
Yeah, don't think it should matter in the end. Masic, because he didn't buy this round, should have the money regardless, and he absolutely will. What's going on here? Oh, he's getting... Okay. He sort of like half bought there utility-wise, so you get an op drop to him. Trade a rifle over to whichever teammate ended up picking that one up. All in all, good look for Surreal here. We'll see where the operator goes, because it looks like Masic wants to play in halls. He switched up his positioning quite a bit here.
That's a good spot.
And, I mean, just like we have to expect from Fokus, Vong is playing halls again, but the jump peak knows there's an op here now. Oh, wow, he's pushing?
Yeah, that's a bit wild. He's actually in a position still where he can fall back behind this cover on the left side. He hasn't committed too far forward, but he's pinging. He really wants them to go into the crosshair. But they are wise to the tricks that potentially there's an operator holding them, and they do not want to go into that battle.
Yeah.
They do not want to lose that player.
I don't love continuing to jump peek after it's a 5 versus 4 there. I think make sure you maintain that numbers advantage is the play. 2 players up through mid. There's a lot of options here too, because Lewis can sort of flash himself in through double doors if you get some good information off the drone. Seeker's thrown out reactively, and they actually clear halls with the 0 point, so they know the operator is at least not pushed in halls anymore. It would be deeper if anything.
Vong is just trying to stop this aggression into cave, and yeah, risky maneuver there for Vaughn, but no one's really going towards A. And now that's information picked up for Surreal because they've just pushed through cave. There has to be an acceleration of this play for Fokus. Yugi is down. Now it's Fokus with 3 players to the 4. And great flash through. Your boy Lewis able to open up onto Jailers, but the tip of the barrel, it's going through the cage. And that's going to allow an easy kill for Alfayir. 14 seconds left, gets around for the 3rd. And the spike now loose. Your boy Lewis has to commit to the plant. And now a 2 versus 1.
Oh, he's hoping he can hit a knife, but there's a player shooting at him from window. JJ is there to lock down the round. Surreal are going to get on board for a 4th round once they can defuse the spike. And yeah, I felt like that round was really weird because Fokus got the initial pick. Then, of course, we have sort of the jiggle peeking from Vong and Halls, ends up getting opt-in cave. But it was Alfayir who was ready for the mid lurk. Remember that Surreal got burned by Yugi walking up mid with the operator 4 or 5 rounds ago, and that ended an explosive B hit that Fokus were able to win. This time, Alfayir is ready for it, then converts it into a 2nd, a 3rd kill on the site. That's really what was able to turn this round in Surreal's favor.
Yeah, Alfayir, I just love when this guy has some impact. You know, it's great to see him on the chamber, but hasn't had the same level of impact. Obviously, we've seen against some of the weaker opposition we've maybe seen him up against, but Fokus certainly going to feel the wrath of him in a few of these rounds, but Masic gets aggressive and removes your boy Lewis.
Lewis wanted to ult too. They had Viper, Sova, Kayle ults ready to go. It was going to be a fast exec onto the B site.
Big kill to find it the last round of the half. They were using everything they've got. Viper's pick goes up, and Jailers initially removes Yugi, and Vaughn gets aggressive. Nearly comes away with a couple, but Vaughn goes down. And that's a disaster because that's the pit now gone as well. And right now we're looking to the 2v4. Not looking good for Fokus to try and clean this one up. But suddenly, Alluri looks to try and prove me wrong. He finds a double.
Ryan sees the spike though. Knows someone has to come and grab it. Although it looks like Alluri was able to pick it up without peeking around the corner.
Oh, that recon. Oh, that's going to spot JJ. It did. Paul states and finds him. So at least position known of another coming around that side. Oh, it swings out, confirms position of Rian's, but now Butcher has to fight between 2 coming in from vastly different positions. This then draws his attention and stretches him thin. They're still trying to figure out how do you get into this fight. Butcher then peeks out to the right side, now draws it into the 1v1. Knows generally where this other player is coming from, but now starts to lose him. Where has he gone? So many angles he can approach his position from, and he's got to feel claustrophobic. Tap on the defuse, confirms the position. Butcher now is looking for the peak, thinking he's off it. He certainly is. He's not biting down on it. Confirms that he's no longer on the defuse. With 8 bullets left, the time ticking. Butcher is just buying all the crucial seconds to close this one out. 8 rounds at the half. Fokus will lead the way.
Butcher, I mean, the patience for the Red Bull clutch there. What a move out of him, just constantly waiting on back, saying, yeah, you got to come into me. You got to make some kind of split-second decision, either stick it or push me. Either way, it is not looking good. Just 8 bullets in the tank. Butcher gets it done.
So well played, really. Even in that, to get to that position, even to get in a situation where Butcher is able to turn it into a 1v2, that didn't really look that likely. I mean, that was a 4v2 in favor of the defensive side. You lose big ultimates on that initial attack in. That really looked good for Surreal to claim another on the way out the door, but somehow Fokus show their class again. Pistol gets started here in the second half. Without too much being obvious here, this is a much needed one for Surreal.
Yeah, right now Surreal put down that Viper wall, cut off mid and Hall, so you can definitely push up here off of the info gathered from the dog. Hard to keep on going past, though. Again, and decide to fall back a little bit outside, and it's just 5 players through cave. There's not a lot here, and they don't have a Viper wall either.
Well, your boy Lewis spots one player across towards the pyramids, then goes out. In for the peak, Alfire will win it out, but Alluri yet again. The player that was able to pull back the impossible round in the previous has done it again. 2 kills picked up, 3v3, equilibrium once again established. As Butcher starts to lurk through the double doors. JJ is going to have 2 players looking down his barrel, and Vong quick to the headshot, one between the eyes. And Rians looks to upgrade to the Ghost for the better range on this. They know they've got him pinned at pyramids, but can they really deal with him? His teammate now plays forward. Butcher, another headshot to remove J. Lewis, and it's just Rian's left. A 1v2 clutch as he dances with death. It is his last and final dance of the pistol round, as Fokus reclaim the site to post 9.
Yeah, I mean, looking good for Fokus now. I was worried for them. The tail half of Icebox, it was really starting to get ugly, but going 8-4 in the first half, winning the pistol, now in a great position to try and close this series out. And for Surreal, I can't help but feel like that round kind of got away from them. They had this idea with the Viper wall through mid and through halls to take some space there, but instantly after spotting out a player, decide to back away from halls, just go into A site completely dry without a Viper wall to sort of cut off any of those angles. I think with that Viper wall too, you have to play through mid a little bit more. Like it isolates off the fight for double doors. You know, if you want to make a split hit happen, or something like that, you don't have to worry about tunnel or nest or anything like that. Now they sort of escort Masick to get underneath shoot, but even then he almost immediately falls back, and now Fokus have reclaimed mid. They know no one's here, and that the site hit is going down onto A.
At least looks like a spike plant will be no problem here. That's a lot already gained, and a real shot at potentially winning this now. Look at the utility available for this retake attempt. You've got the 0 point, got the Owl Drone for some info, Snake Bites available, Fragment, everything you want really. But the problem is you have lost a player. Alluri has gone down already to Alfire. They've closed that ground down here, Ender.
That Viper wall is good, and there's only 1 molly on the Viper. Like, you can't play post plant with this setup, forcing it around 2.
No, the defuse is just being stuck, and J. Lewis is able to claim the life of 3. It looked like just 2, but that is massive. This looks surely locked in for Fokus, but the reply and perhaps the lifeline there for Surreal.
We're just sticking? We're just sticking there. Our teammate dies and we're still sticking. I can't believe it. Fokus had a round where, I mean, with that Viper wall to cut off main, like, all you have to do is worry about the players coming through double doors. But over eager to try and stick that either to half or to full, I couldn't quite tell. But they got absolutely destroyed by that late reflank through double doors. Jailers, absolute monster on that one. I guess Butcher just didn't expect that he could be seen with his head from over the small little wooden wall by the left pyramid. Big mistake from him, and Surreal are able to sneak their way back in with a second round win.
Yeah, and it's quick again in this round as well. Just Viper wall up, creating that smoke wall. You could just easily get onto this B site. No one's here to resist. And that'll be an easy plant Focus need a bit of a miracle themselves here. That regrowth just to heal up the chip damage from those shock darts, but look at that! The timing, they look away in the Classic, it finds a lineup of two. Two heads down and suddenly a 2 advantage now for Focus.
Oh no. And with this Viper Wall too, they can actually get back in towards the left side of sight. Although they run out of steam, and now things become problematic without the rifles. Yep.
That's the problem, right? You have the better weapons here. You're still in a very good position, even when you get those 2 kills going against you. You kind of need to continue that momentum. Luri with the Classic on the way out the door. It's Jailers that recovers this one. 2 rounds in a row now. He's had big impact to save the day. And 6 rounds picked up.
Hey, we'll take it. If someone needs to step up, we'll put it in Jailer's hands as the Viper's pit now. We've seen...
That's also the reward, really, of all the damage that he's done over these last 2.
True.
Viper's pit out in force.
Yeah, absolutely. And Focus, you can see with, you know, the Sheriffs they went for in the last round. Spectre on Vong, couple of light armors too. Do believe they've been able to invest in full utility, apart from perhaps Butcher. Doesn't have the smokes to go with. Not necessarily the end of the world here on the Cypher, but some quick mid aggression. They may just decide to leave Masic here by stack in mid. Or run that same play Focus was doing, right? When they were getting Yugi all the way up to peek the player under tunnel. But the drone was spotting him out. Now they have to fall back entirely. Drone to try and push up through halls, too. Like, pretty much everything that Surreal have tried to do has been spotted out by Focus, and that's 40 seconds in this round taken away completely.
Walking their way towards elbow rather slowly and methodically.
Here.
The second player has now rotated over to strengthen this B defense. And that Viper's wall about to go on up.
It could be waiting for the second flash to come back from JJ. That's my guess. It's not back quite yet, but they're going to go for it anyways.
Butcher's rifle's in a good spot. Like, you see so many times you'll see a play from this exact spot take multiple kills, especially with a distraction being set up from his teammates perfectly. He's got the cam to spot the push on the right side, and Butcher will come away with that multi-kill. 2 kills picked up. He slapped them down and bought enough time for this rotation back. It is absolutely shut down. A massive stronghold there from Focus.
Yeah, I mean, Focus are able to spot out a lot of what Surreal was trying to do early in the rounds, and then they're anchoring. They're absolutely flawless to lock that one down. Now I just...
Surreal's still able to buy.
Yeah,
so the rifles are be out again, but it is the last leg buy. So if they lose this round, their economy's reset, and this is where Focus are not too far away from taking the win.
Yeah, that Cypher setup is pretty nasty there. Can show you some of the difference between a Chamber versus a Cypher, perhaps. Chamber, a little bit more individual agency, a little bit more individual play. You have to come down to the raw aim. Cypher setup makes it a little bit more uncomfortable, and actually a great 0 point stops the dog from breaking the Cypher trips on B. A great interaction there.
Yeah, the little details. A game of inches. Now Surreal initially had a little bit of fury behind that play towards B, but it grabbed the orb and now dispersed back in towards elbow. The problem is here, when you commit so many forces to one area of the map, you don't even have anybody using mid, you almost have this paranoia and have to consider the fact that they could push A. And you could gain control in halls, you could lose control outside of A cave, and you don't have any tread marks really set up to deal with that. That's worrying.
Well, the concern would be double doors, right? Because look at that defensive Viper wall cutting off tunnel and nest for mid, but they're just bursting out onto B here. Still, though, Butcher is backside.
Yeah, he's here again, but the Viper's pick goes up, and that's good here for Surreal. That's giving them the best opportunity possible. The fact that they can get into the site, get that Viper's pit up. 1-for-1 trades between Masic, but the Viper's still up, and that is still the problem. Vong will remove that problem in one quick kill. It's down to just Masic to try and clutch this one out. Everything on his shoulders. The ace needed. He's up for 3 already, and there's 2 more lying in front of him. Luckily for the side of Focus, Yugi is too much to handle, and the operator removes the absolutely beast play from Masic. That possibility could have just been huge.
That was crazy. I mean, Focus flooding inside of the Viper roll, getting so many kills. I'm trying to figure out how Yugi was able to spot out a kill with the operator to begin with. That sort of opened up the rest of the round for Focus to flood on in there through tunnel. Yeah, I mean, Yugi Oh, it's right there. As the pit comes down, so many players just sort of left out to dry. Masick stuck on site too, even with the heroics into 3K. It just wasn't enough. Those first players just lost all their fights.
Yeah. I mean, even if one of them gets a pick, right? Even if just one extra kill makes that a whole lot more doable, a lot more realistic, but this is the scenario I was talking about the last leg economy. Now look at the buy for Surreal. It is in the bin. And so this surely looks like 12 rounds for Fokus and one away.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is Surreal have to ask the question. We have Jet ult, we have Chamber ult. Do we pull the trigger on a buy? Like, is JJ trying to marshal? Is Ryan's trying to get a Spectre? And the money is so bad that it doesn't seem likely. Like, you probably but like, for example, like Masick could try to like hero buy someone and then Glass use knives. Like, you call that timeout to figure out exactly what's going down. And very likely it is just the hero ults from Masick and Alphayer. But you can see Jailurst was able to pick up a Vandal. Now we have the Guardian, so it is the Force, and I think this is the right call. When you're down 6-11, you can't risk giving up that 11th round, but the problem is you can't play this round super slow, because if you slow hit and you end on A where Lewis has ultimate ready to shut it down, all of a sudden your Jet and your Chamber don't have guns. That's a huge problem.
Yeah, they force Yugi away. And they're taking him off this Iron Core. The Guiding Light goes through. It's actually going to really test Yugi here, and actually with the utility of set up Alphayer to take out the operator at the back of the site. So far, so good, but that null command, that is certainly something to keep an eye on here. We'll see if your boy Lewis can get anything done with it. Screen goes up. Masick crosses in with a Blade Storm. He's getting deep. He's getting a lot of control, but your boy Lewis, he's going to sacrifice everything for the fast play. He's going to go in and so clean on the headshot. Your boy Lewis is taking down as many as he could. Vong will help him out. And Alphayer and Ryan's now into the recovery mission. Everything was thrown at this buy. Everything for the series, essentially, on this. And there goes down the Viper's pit. Ryan's clearing it out with the Hunter's Fury. He will take down Vong, and the Viper's pit now removed. The defuse is tapped, but it's not being stuck, and it's down to the 1v1. Illuri trying to hold it. He's trying to get it through. Ryan's gets the info on the jump across, and that defuse has not got to half the time. It is ticking, and well, Ryan's just playing with his food at this point. A much-needed round, and everything is being thrown at it, and it will be won by Ryan's.
Oh, Ryan's takes it to the end, just absolutely dancing, doing circles on Fokus at the end there. What a weird round. I mean, Lewis gets so much work done, but he doesn't pop the ultimate. I feel like it's so free. You just use that ultimate, even if it's just to stall out and buy time for some teammates to rotate over. He said he didn't care, quite frankly, just use the pop flash to get a couple of kills. And yet it is Surreal to steal away the round win at the end of it all. Now looking very good. Fokus deciding to save for the most part here. Make sure they can put up a strong fight in the next round, but they've got ultimates aplenty to work with, and Yugi playing real fast up through mid with the knives.
Yugi's just charging down. Just about gets away with the rendezvous there, and as you would expect, the weaker weapon's not really doing a whole lot here.
That Viper wall is crazy! The Viper wall on door, and then the open door as well. It also cuts off double doors for the late flank that Fokus have gone for quite a few times here. Just really creative. I don't think I've ever seen that wall come down, at least in recent memory. But for the Halls push that both Fokus and Surreal have loved, why not?
Butcher goes into the fight versus Masick, ends up losing his head. And Yugi with the Blaze Storm, he has popped it. He might as well try and see what he can get out of the round. It's not looking like a whole lot, though. They're not really giving him too many chances. Spots a pixel of the head, but the wraparound's coming in from Halls. Kill will be confirmed. Ryan's the player to take it. A flawless round coming through for Surreal. Economy game kind of in the corner here for Fokus. We'll take a look at what they've got available in this round. It's a good enough purchase to get the rifles back out, and a timeout coming through for Fokus, I think, at a good time.
Yeah, I mean, this round definitely fell apart quickly for Fokus. But, I mean, when I'm sort of looking at, like, what Fokus can do here, I do feel like they've got all the right tools to shut down one of those quick sight hits. Lewis may be a little bit quicker on the trigger for the null command, perhaps. And the rest of the team, like, they've run into some trouble with like the halls pressure, with the mid pressure. It can be so hard on defense on Breeze to like keep everything under wraps. You know, it's why a lot of teams have sort of defaulted just like giving up halls or like using a late Sova drone or just a chamber trip to make sure they're not pushing all the way back towards your spawn and say, hey, it's okay if you open door. Like, we're just not going to fight you in the more coin flippy fights rather down that angle. But judging by the pings, it does look like Surreal want to put some attention over towards B. So that's kind of where I've got my eyes now. Should have full utility to work with. Yugi's going to be the one holding the operator and wants to play over towards B. But there's a lot of different options you can take with this jet. You know, whether or not it's like peeking down bottom mid, you could potentially push towards elbow and watch if there's going to be a push there. A wacky Viper wall. Surreal have had some of the craziest Viper walls I think I've seen all day, and that's going to signal the elbow push. Still peeking into it past the flash, and is good for the one.
Yeah, you love that from Yugi. He's just so aggressive. It's so cool to see. And he's so quick on the rotate back. Yugi's just doing it to him. He's found 3. And Surreal, what a nightmare start to this round, and Butcher now even getting involved. That puts him up to double figures on the kill count, and now a heroic clutch needed from Masic. He's got to dig deep. He's got to dig so deep. And the problem is Yugi's just drawing the attention away. He was just rattling shots, so his attention would be drawn away to set up the kill for Alluri. It's 12 rounds. It's now looking so good for Fokus to close this one out.
Did you guys know that being a coach in VALORANT is this easy? You just literally call a timeout, you tell your jet player, hey, get 3 kills, and then they do it. Like, I don't know why Sentinels have taken so long to try and figure it out. It's the easiest trick in the book.
Yeah, just Yugi go kill. Easy strategy. It works. But it's so crazy how quick he is to rotate back to the right position as well. Yeah, you talk about Breeze. It's a big map. You can't really rotate as quickly as on the operator. You can't have as much impact, but that is a round where Yugi just took over the whole server.
Really gorgeous stuff from him. Not even worrying about the Sky Flash initially. And now Surreal backs against the wall. Spike is in mid, and here's what I'm talking about. Your boy Lewis pops that one down, so Viper Wall is not going to be able to come in. Lewis even trying to peek a little bit more aggressively. And I don't even know where you go from here if you're Surreal. Like, you could just place down the wall, but this Viper Wall makes it so easy for the players on site to sort of isolate anyone coming in through mid doors and not even worry about a cave push.
No, Masic is just holding the arch, but no one is peeking. No one's overextending for Fokus. You do not want to be the player that gives up the advantage in this kind of round. And this is going to give a little bit of space for Surreal to play with, and through the double doors they apply some pressure, but they're held back, and this might just force them back into B.
Yeah, going up through mid. They also have this Halls lurk. I don't know if Alfier was able to hit any sort of utility. I don't think he did.
But look at his position ender. Look at it. They're not even looking. Oh, no! That was free, but Butcher gets caught, and on the flank, Yugi hits the deck as well. Oh, for Fokus at this point, it doesn't feel like it's a winnable round. Do you even get in a position to contest? Your boy Lewis might find an opening, but this looks so difficult to find a way in.
Yeah, the late flank through mid from Alfier as well is so massive. Surreal, or Fokus rather, going to call this one off. Wow, just like that, the round explodes. And I don't know what's happening, but no one playing these ratty spots late in a round is ever getting more than their one. Butcher didn't even get a single one. He was staring at players for a couple of seconds, waiting to try and line it all up. Then I think it was JJ turns around and is like, wait a second, we don't have a Cypher on our team. Boom, shoots him, takes him down. I think Fokus should be fine for the next round, saving a couple of rifles, buying into it, but we've seen some crazy overtimes here, Dinko. And the job's not done.
We have seen some ridiculous close matches through the whole, really, of the promotion stages, the play-ins, now the playoffs. We'll see if this continues, but yeah, I mean, this is the nightmare situation if you're Butcher. He's a better person than I am. I mean, I would have reacted far more poorly than he just did, but absolutely should have been taking one there. Just unfortunate how cookie crumbles sometimes.
Why is it called play-ins and playoffs? Shouldn't it be play-ons and playoffs? Or play-ins and play-outs?
Play-ins and play in, play on.
Play out.
You know, the playoffs should be play on. Oh, but you get kicked off the show if you lose, so I guess that's why.
Nothing makes sense. I've decided that we've been living a lie for many, many years. Anyways, Focus, we're able to buy into this one. Your boy Lewis on a Guardian. And again, mid-presence has been the name of the game for these attackers. And Yugi without Nopus playing super passively. Look at this. Maybe expecting some Halls pressure again. Giving up Nest entirely and leaning towards the B site now with this double push out of Cave.
Trademarks there, though, isn't it? So if they push forward into that, they would have a little bit of a problem.
Yeah. It's more about the information they get, though, right? You know it's either mid or B, and likely mid to B. You got 2 players here for it.
Yeah, you need a good hold still. And Butcher, this time, is going to get that one pick. He's going to stay alive and swings. He gets more than one. In fact, doubles up. That's the spike loose, and it sets up Yugi. He's on a great platform to try and close this. Fire and Riens into the 2 versus 4. Yugi positions himself into the site more safely, just buying time even for his reinforcements to make the rotate. Riens obviously ready for that position, and now is able to follow up. Alfire getting involved in Riens, then peeks out again. It's a 1v1. The operator up against Alluri, but it cannot get it done. A 13-9 win for Focus here on Breeze, and they will take the series 2-1.
What a series it was there, going the distance. And even in the final rounds there, like those rounds were super chaotic, could really have gone either way. It was clutched up in the end though in a bit of a Sova duel. I loved Riens picking up the operator too, somehow making it so close. But I think throughout the day, Focus showed like a really strong understanding on maps, especially on Bind and Breeze. They were doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's good to see Focus out of the environment of their group as well, because I think people were throwing a lot of caveats in there. The fact it's a weaker group. Focus haven't had to play against a good team from the other group yet. Now they've proven they are the real deal. Surreal gave us a lot of good rounds, but able to pull through nonetheless, Focus with the W. And a lot of great moments, I think, out of Yugi in particular throughout today, but there's plenty more options for you guys at home to select the player of the match. Below me on the screen, you can see the social media links. You can head over to Esports_EMEA and select one of these players on the screen for your MVP. You've got Yugi, you've got Vong, and you've got Butcher. For me, I'd probably go with Yugi here, Ender, just from what I've seen today. Would you be in agreement?
Yeah. I'd agree. And it was like a whole variety of things, because he wasn't even necessarily like doing that much in terms of like entering, but like on Breeze in particular, like working him up through mid, putting him in an individual position to find good op picks, and that opened up so much. So I feel like there was a lot of depth in Yugi's play throughout today, and that's who I'd put my vote on.
Well, it's been a pleasure sharing the mic with you today, Ender, but that is it for our series here. We are going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have the analysts to round out the day.